Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Teague Egan, the CEO of Energy Exploration Technologies, EnergyX. Thank you for joining us, Teague.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're the founder and CEO. Give us some background of what EnergyX is all about.
Yeah, so EnergyX is a renewable energy company focused on the transition to sustainable energy from fossil fuel-based technologies. And we are specifically focused on energy storage and the battery supply chain. So what battery materials go into making energy storage systems.
And you've got a new partnership that we're going to talk about here with the University of Texas, I believe, and Dr. John Goodenough. Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's correct. So Texas has actually been our partner for quite a while. We licensed the very first technologies of the company out of the University of Texas. So we've been partners with them for almost 2 years now. And the core technologies we felt could really be applicable in a battery setting. And Professor Goodenough is, the inventor of the lithium-ion battery, and he just won the Nobel Prize last year for that invention. And he is also a professor at the University of Texas, working right next to the professor that invented our technology. So we said, what if we apply our technology into batteries? If we did that, there would be no one better to work on this than Dr. Goodenough. So that's kind of how that partnership came to be.
And what does it mean? Take this from the consumer point of view. What does what you're saying mean to the consumer, or do you hope it will mean?
So, breaking it down into understandable terms and meanings, we are moving towards an electrified or an electricity-powered economy. Everything from the devices that we're talking to each other on right now are powered by batteries, up to cars. That's the next big transition, is cars powered by batteries. But people are even looking at airplanes powered by batteries. We're trying to wean ourselves off of carbon-emitting energy systems to renewable energy systems that are powered from things like solar, wind, renewable sources. And then when those sources aren't distributing or generating power, to use batteries that have stored power from renewable sources. So the way that a consumer can think about this is, right now we have a phone battery that can last a day, or cars that can drive 350 miles on a single charge. And as those things grow, like cars, we are going to need more battery materials to make them. So right now, there's between 2 and 3 million electric cars on the road, as compared to hundreds of millions of internal combustion cars. So as we make more cars, we're going to, A, need more battery materials, but B, we want to make those systems better. So the first computers that came out had, 1 megabyte of memory, and they were the size of a room. Now you have a terabyte of energy, which is like 1 million times that in a small little device like an iPad or an iPhone that you can hold in your hand. So you apply things like Moore's Law, making cars that can drive much further. If you can make an electric car that can drive 1,000 miles on a single charge, that's a pretty appealing proposition, So those are the type of things that we're working on that can be put into a consumer sense.
And those things are doable.
Yeah, anything is doable. It just takes time to get there. You look at things like nobody thought that an iPhone would be possible before an iPhone was invented. Everything seems science fiction like until you do it. It's, the first light bulb that Thomas Edison invented lasted a very short amount of time. And then as people started to develop those technologies around the core technology, I mean, now you have lights that last tens of years. So it's right around the corner what we're working on.
Now, there are other issues besides having more power, so to speak. There are safety issues that people are concerned about, environmental issues. Tell us how you're dealing with those things.
So safety is obviously a big thing. It's something that we look at very closely. You need to make these things as safe as humanly possible. It needs to be near 100%. If you have one car battery that explodes, or, say the Samsung phones that were exploding, even though it was only around 100 phones out of the millions that Samsung was producing, that's still far too many. Even one phone exploding is too many. So in making these batteries, you need to look at safety as absolutely the top priority.
So you are working on technology that can make the batteries safer?
Yeah, that's right. So the reason batteries are somewhat unsafe is because inside the battery, when the electrodes touch each other, it creates something called thermal runaway, which is the lithium being exposed to elements that make it set on fire. What we are doing is trying to avoid that and replacing the liquid separator with a solid separator. And putting a solid separator inside the battery is something that a lot of people are trying to do. And that's what we're focused on with the Good Enough group. And that would make the battery orders of magnitude safer than it is right now.
And do you have partnerships in bringing this all to market as of now, or is this down the road?
So right now we're just focused on the research and development aspects and the scaling aspects of these technologies with Dr. Goodenough. We do not have commercial partners in place right now. I mean, those partners would be people like, LG Chem or Panasonic or Tesla. But right now we're just focused on making our prototypes, testing those in the lab. And then once we have those to a place where we feel like we're ready to pull the trigger and make, larger quantities of batteries, then we would look towards commercialization partners.
And I assume that this would also apply to the energy storage that we're really at the beginnings of it now in homes and buildings as well, from, say, solar panels.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is really the next big frontier. Right now, energy storage and battery technology is focused on mobility, electromobility, and cars. But stationary storage for homes and office buildings and commercial size grids is really the next frontier. I mean, that is where you start getting into terawatt hours of energy and huge scale batteries that can power even cities.
Very exciting. Give me your thoughts about the time frame. What things are going to look like in 5 years or 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an optimist. There's no denying that. Any entrepreneur that's trying to create something new has to be. And because of that, I think that the timelines are really much faster than a lot of people think. We are living in an exponential world right now with information sharing and communication and cloud-based services where anybody on the globe can access essentially all the information that humanity has created. And what that causes is a lot more people working on these hard problems. So, I look at my company, EnergyX, as a microcosm of that. And just our company, that is about 15 team members, is really based all over the world. We have experts working on this in Australia that were one of the key inventors of the technology. We have people working on this in Norway that are the experts in their field on this specific element that adds to our technology. So because of that, things are developing and evolving at a much faster pace. So when we look at timelines for commercialization, I think 5 years from now, we're going to have tens of millions of electric vehicles on the road that can go over 1,000 miles of charge. We're going to have vast amounts of homes with solar roofs and battery powers. Next week is Tesla's Battery Day that a lot of people in our industry are really excited about. And they're going to make some big announcements there. And, I relate this industry to the computer industry back in the late 90s and moving into the 2000s. And to see how rapidly that industry grew, I think that this is really the next big industry that is going to have that same type of quick rise and really mass adoption.
Well, very exciting. For more information, people can follow you, I assume. The best place is EnergyX.com?
Yeah, EnergyX.com is our website, and we have a lot of really good information on there. We kind of make our website like an information hub. A lot of the stuff that we're working on is pretty complex. So we have a really good resource guide on there and kind of some cool diagrams that people can see about our technology. And that's where everything EnergyX is found.
Well, congratulations on the work that you're doing, and we wish you success. Teague Egan, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for having me.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio. And that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.